In this video, we're exploring some of the movements out of pattern poem. There's two that I've been asked about, namely this one and this one, all right? Both are performed in an X stance that front steps, as in majority of the weight is on the back foot. If my right foot's flat, left foot steps in front. I know you can't see it on the video, but presuming that, again, you know the sequence. The weight-bearing leg, in this case my right foot, my right hand does the low front block, and it's delivered inwards. So in a way, what the movements actually do, we're looking at possibly clipping on the first, hence why the hand's on top to lock, and possibly striking when you come back in where the hand's on the side. You will see a couple of variations as these techniques meet, but generally speaking, for me, there's a couple of different ways. I mean, I foraged around and asked a lot of seniors questions on these movements, and these were the two that sat best with me personally, all right? So in the way of this first one, as it comes in, it doesn't quite explain the both hands come in circular because I like to close a bit quicker. If I show you, then it'll make more sense. If Thomas was to grab, the idea of the clipping was simply that. See, can you see where the finger belly is there and as it sits? It's just actually turned a knuckle onto Thomas's wrist. It's there. So if I come around the other side, mate, so if I'm looking at doing the movement that sits in, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come across and hold. If I flex my wrist downwards, can you see Thomas's wrist? That's the movement. So it can snap, full fist knuckles, downwards. You feel that one? So that's quite a nice little application of the movement, the break, clearance, and then I can shift out the next movement. So what would this one be? This one tends to be a little bit more in the way of, this is like placement, isn't it? It kind of ensures alignment on specific techniques. I mean, I shan't go into the actual patterns, but if you're a second or third degree, you'll see this a few times. For me in pattern poem, this is, it's almost like a clip again, but it can be something like a low-level strike or a kick, and you're going to clip and hold and strike. So rather than just simply be alignment, placement, center, as I'm sitting into position, fine. But if Thomas was to give me a kick, that could be a position where I've just broken an ankle, or I've done a massive, massive high impact with this thing where actually, rather than just smashing it across, there's nowhere for that technique to do escape to, so I'm increasing the force or power into the ankle joint of the strike itself. Slightly slower, mate, as I come around, front kick, I'm going that way. That's all it is. Can you see the movement? I'm relaxing down. So first one was about clipping, second one was more about an impact. Either way, I mean, you guys have a little bit of a play with them, see what you can do. They tend to be the better ones for me personally anyway. In the way of the other technique I wanted to cover today, it's this, a U-shaped grasp. You will have met U-shaped blocks before. I mean, we're not going to do anything massively practical here, Thomas, to be fair, other than alignment. So, yes, you can block sticks, but then who's going to attack you with a stick this way? It just isn't done, right? You're talking about two simultaneous blocks, arcs almost, that can configure or sit into positions that require a bit more control. What am I thinking? The throat. I'm talking lower abdominal area as they push or thrust into a position. The top hand, the grasp, that tends to be to do with grabbing, controlling, or even flipping, which sounds a bit random, I know. But if, Thomas, you're in a little bit closer, as I do this as a movement, I have the ability to control, I can strike, but probably lift, control, and throw on an opposite line. So with this as a movement, my primary function always in a U-shape is to strike lower abdominal area and throat. On a U-shaped grasp, I could do the same, but I've got the ability to grab, control, turn, and create secondary or even tertiary type of movements off the back end of it. If you look at what's happening in this poem as you do this, kind of makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? Obviously head turns and other bits going on too. Sorry mate, I almost elbowed you in the head. Just checking if the technique works. Guys, hopefully that's of use. Pattern poem, enjoy.